Oh God, we're just gonna keep this thing a-rolling. Who's ready for some more? Yeah. Let's get that energy up. Come on, who's ready for some more? Welcome this next guy. He's so funny. He's Funny or Die. He's featured on the list. It's Funny or Die's 30 Comics Under 30. He's hilarious. Please welcome to the stage, Sean McCarthy, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you. Hey, so what happened to me was this last year, 2015. I got hit by a car on my bicycle, or as the insurance company put it, I attacked a car with my bicycle. I was riding my bike in Brooklyn. I get hit from behind. Knocks me under the car. Driver keeps accelerating, so I get dragged for like 3 to 5 seconds. And the cops asked her later why she didn't stop after she hit me, and she said she was scared. I just can't imagine what a traumatizing experience running me over was for her. Having to watch helplessly as a 120-pound man is flung underneath your 2-ton Chevrolet SUV, possibly to puncture your tires with the pointiness of his bones. So I'm laying in the street, and like three guys literally they run over and like literally lift the car up off of me. Exactly what I was about to do. And so if you get hit by a car in New York, all your medical bills are covered by the car insurance company, no matter who's at fault. It's called no-fault insurance. At the time, I didn't know that. So I'm laying there in the street, and this guy comes over and he's like, "Hey man, it's going to be okay. The ambulance is on its way." And in my head, I'm like, those are expensive. Like, there's got to be an Uber driver who owns a tarp around here. Do that. Like, I'm not desperately poor, but I'm poor enough where I think of an ambulance ride the way I think of like jet skiing or paragliding or a European vacation. Like maybe if I work really hard, I can do it once before I die. Because, as you all know, in most of the, because that's a near-death experience in America. Your first thought is like, thank God I'm alive. And then your second thought is like, I don't know if I can still afford to be alive. Because, as I was saying, as you know, in most of the rest of the world, they have what's called single-payer healthcare. That's where, even if you're poor, the government takes care of all your medical bills. Whereas in America, we think it's a better idea to ethnically cleanse the poor. Let's be honest about it. It always reminds me, like, I have some friends who would get sick, like they get cancer or something horrible, and they have to set up a GoFundMe page to help out with their medical bills. And it's kind of surreal, because like a lot of my friends are on Facebook, they're like comedians or other artists. So like my Facebook feed, the GoFundMes I see, it's like 50% like, hey, help me make my cool animated film about Yetis. And then like the other 50% is like, and at the $10,000 level, I get to watch my children graduate. Stretch goals. Graduate school. Well, based on your reaction, I won't do the even darker tag. You guys, all right, sure, fine. I succumb to pressure easily. But did you know in America more than half of all bankruptcies are caused by medical bills? So that always makes me think about like just some family like sitting their kids down and being like, hey, we're really sorry, Steve, but you're not going to be able to go to college because Sarah here just had to splurge on medication. But don't worry, you actually wouldn't learn nearly as much about yourself in 4 years of college as you'll learn in 4 years of watching your sister battle leukemia. I guess it's called DarkSpots, so I'm in the right show. You write those jokes, you're like, will a real audience like them? And you're like, sort of. Okay, but so I did get in the ambulance. I went to the hospital, and at the hospital they make you get naked so they can make sure you're not bleeding out of random places. But here's the thing, I had masturbated the night before, because sometimes an attractive girl likes your status update and one thing leads to another. Is anybody else the kind of person who'll spend like a good 20 minutes trying to find a picture of somebody on Facebook to jerk off to, but then also tell your friends you don't have time to hang out because you're just so busy? That's relatable, right? Please like my page on Facebook. But so I brought that up because I'd hurried out of the house that morning, I had a quick shower, so there were little specks of tissue paper still on my penis. Because sometimes you don't do as good a job cleaning your house when you're not expecting company. I had it in my head like, no attractive women are going to see me naked today. And then it's like, oh, they're called doctors. The doctor goes to me like, is that a growth on your penis? And I was like, which answer makes me look less disgusting? So I'm laying in the hospital bed, and they bring in like these medical students to like observe you and stuff. The med students were all like really nervous, like, you know, I imagine most people are on their first day on a job where you can kill people. But so the medical students are there, and then the doctor comes back and is like, hey, I forgot, I need you to lift up your scrotum so I can check under there. And then in the corner of my eye, I see this nervous-looking med student reaching, and I'm like, yeah, I got this. Like, I'm not a smart man, but I think I figured out the scrotum lift. Don't act like I didn't have an Eminem poster on my wall growing up. But so I had like road burn. I didn't have any broken bones or anything. I was very lucky. I got discharged from the hospital same day. I called up a lawyer because I wanted to file a personal injury lawsuit against the woman who hit me, and I told him the truth, which is I didn't have any broken bones, but I'm in a lot of pain. I missed a couple weeks of work. And he goes, well, in order to sue for personal injury, you need what the New York courts define as serious injury. Doesn't sound like you have that. However, if, say, a week from now you maybe remember something you're not telling me, you can always call me up and we'll sue. I don't know if you've ever heard somebody wink over the phone. That's what that sounds like. I knew I could have just called him back a week later and been like, hey, I forgot to mention, I don't really know if it's relevant, but I'm paralyzed from the neck down. It's been hard to remember since I woke up from that coma. It's weird to say, but getting hit by a car, for me, almost entirely positive experience. Like I said, I didn't have any permanent injuries. I got a new appreciation for life. I settled with the insurance company, so I got money. I got to smoke weed and play video games for 2 weeks while I recovered. Getting hit by a car was actually one of the best jobs I've ever had. Like they say, find what you love and then make money doing it. And then eventually you accept that you just love getting run over by things. I guess last weird little observation about this. I'm lucky I didn't get, I read about this on the internet. A lot of times in China when like drivers strike pedestrians, they'll actually back up over them and try to kill them because the liability is structured in a way where it's cheaper if you kill somebody than if you permanently injure them. Yeah. So it turns out there really is such a thing as being too good at math. And all right, hey, thank you very much.